Welcome to this performing arts tutorial on body language. We're going to talk about body language and characterisation. So we're going to start off looking at core strength and stability. Georgia's going to put her core strength she's kind of central in her chest, feet shoulder width apart. And this is a nice neutral stance for a nice neutral feel to a character. If she brings her core strength down into her sort of abdomen pelvis area, again, it has an effect as she bends her knees a little bit and it changes kind of like the feel of the character. But if you strengthen back through your spine, again, for me please, Georgia. If you bring your shoulders back, we've got a much more regal feel to the character, much more confidence in the character that she's playing there. Moving on to look at where you centre your character, which also impacts core strength and stability. But Georgia, if you could just have a little wander about for me, but hold your centre kind of in your chest area. And now if you bring it down into your stomach. Okay, so again, this affects how the character looks as it moves around the space. If you bring it quite lower, sort of around the knee area, much more relaxed feel to the character. And if you bring your centre right up to above your head for me. Again, all of these changes give a real different feel to who the character is. Lovely. If you can get nice and still for me again. Brilliant. Okay, so body language, open or closed is the next thing to look at. Georgia, if you can really open out your body language, shoulders back. Lovely sense of confidence there. If you can bring it in for me, bring it in through the stomach, cross your arms over, bring your head right down. That's really nice, bringing the shoulders up there. Got a really closed sense of body language here. We're looking at a character that might be quite low in confidence or maybe trying to hide something, quite thoughtful, secretive. Okay, let's, I'll do posture last. Let's have a look at stance and how you bear your weight. So can you shift your weight onto one of your legs for me, please? And now if you bring yourself more centred, so you're spreading your weight between both legs. Okay, if you can push it over your other hip for me. If you turn yourself to the side to face that way, can you push your weight a bit further forward, so really have a front heavy bearing of weight? That's great, brilliant, Georgia. How we hold our weight really has an effect on our physicality and how we appear as a character. Okay, moving on to stillness versus movement. If Georgia is a very still character and she holds herself and her gaze just above the camera, and then we move to a character that might be still in the sense that they're not moving, but there's a sense of fidget, a sense of sort of energy about them. Okay. So maybe if Georgia just looks around a little bit, and then come back to stillness. You get a very different feel from the character, whether they are still or in that feeling of movement. Looking at limbs where we place our arms, legs, feet. If you cross your arms for me, Georgia. And now can you cross them a little lower and more gentle around your body? And then lower again. That's quite nice. How you use your arms and your legs and your limbs really affects the characterisation. You might think, oh, I'll cross my arms here. But as you can see, it can either show aggression or it can show, can you show me confrontation for me with your arms crossed? Or it could be quite relaxed, quite protective of yourself. So don't just take the stage direction of cross your arms as, oh, I'll just cross my arms. Think about what you can show to the audience. Can you put your hand on your hip for me, please? That's lovely. Can you put both hands on your hip and bear your weight over your right leg? Okay, so Georgia's got her hands on her hips here, but she could do it in a much more kind of aggressive fashion by straightening both legs, broadening her stance. Again, it looks very different for the same stage direction. Okay, last but by no means least, posture. Georgia, could you face the curtain for me, please? Okay, Georgia, show us some really bad posture. No one wants to see that on stage, people. What should it look like? That's nice. Shoulders back. If you've got naturally bad posture, We don't want to see it, all right? Really think about working on that. Your character might have a very strong sense of posture, so work on that for me. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I hope to see all of these things applied in class.